WGAL News 8 at noon starts now.
Good afternoon. I'm Susan Shapiro. A sinkhole has closed a stretch of Route 772 in Lancaster County. News 8's Meredith Jorgensen is live at the scene with more on what caused the collapse.
Hi, Susan. A water main break is the cause of this collapse here in West Earl Township, and you can see some work is going on right now. What we've learned, though, is that water main break might have happened, a leak in that pipe might have happened a while ago and caused this void, this sinkhole underneath the roadway, but the sinkhole itself only opened up within the last day or two. Joining me now live is Jenna Regal. She is the township manager here in West Earl Township. Jenna, tell us a little bit about this area right now. It's going to be closed for a while. Why is that, and what do you want motorists to know?
We initially had two water main breaks yesterday, got them repaired, got the water hooked back up. Last night we had another water main break, which caused more extensive damage to the already existing sinkhole that's underneath that area over there. We're really asking any of the motorists to avoid 772 from Peace Road all the way down to Stone Quarry Road in West Earl Township.
Now, you were saying too, there is a large amount of macadam that has to come off of the roadway for this repair, and they are going to close this section of 772 until next Friday. So they're accounting for 10 days of a repair of this major intersection here in the West Earl area. A lot of tractor trailers take this road, a lot of local motorists. So if you need to get here locally, they will get you around. But if you're taking this as a thoroughfare, they're asking please to stay away from the area here on 772, which will be closed, is expected to be closed until next Friday. That's the latest here in Lancaster County. I'm Meredith Jorgensen, WGAL News 8.
Breaking news, the York County coroner says a man died after a multi-vehicle crash this morning on Interstate 83. A tractor trailer and an SUV collided around 4:49 in the southbound lanes near the Pennsylvania Welcome Center in Shrewsbury Township. The coroner says the victim was pronounced dead at the hospital at 7:58. Their identity will not be released until family can be notified. Looking live from our SkyCam network, some beautiful blue skies there, not a cloud in the sky. Meteorologist Mike Susko joins me now with more on the forecast. Mike.
Good afternoon, Susan. Yeah, we're seeing those blue skies today, and temperatures once again that will be a little bit below average. However, not too bad, as we will continue to see our highs right around 32 degrees this afternoon. Friday, we are still watching for some afternoon, evening light snow showers to push on through, and then it's going to get windy and cold as we go into Saturday and Sunday, including in Carlisle, Cumberland County. Looking quiet right now. Current conditions in Cumberland County, 30 degrees with plenty of sunshine, and those winds out of the north around 6 miles per hour. And when we look at the temperature right now, everyone is in the upper 20s and low 30s at this hour. 29 in Lancaster to 31 in Chambersburg, 25 in Lewistown, and 30 in Harrisburg as well as Lebanon. As we take a look at the winds, they are again around 5 to 10 miles per hour, so on the lighter side as we go through the afternoon. Storm Team Live Radar Network showing that big clearing across our area, so we can expect more of that as we go through the afternoon. A mostly sunny sky, highs around 32 degrees here with a quiet Wednesday and Thursday ahead. We'll talk more about that snow for Friday, Susan, coming up in a little bit.
All right, thank you. A man has been charged with a deadly shooting last week in Harrisburg. Harrisburg police arrested 30-year-old Tyler Norman yesterday afternoon and charged him with homicide. Investigators say 58-year-old Terrence Dudley was shot and killed last Wednesday at a home on North 18th Street. A Dauphin County judge dismissed the lawsuit filed by Harrisburg Mayor Wanda Williams against Harrisburg City Council. Mayor Williams filed the suit last month to try to get funding restored for 4 positions in her administration that City Council defunded. Williams said the council did not have the authority to defund the positions, but the court found City Council acted within its legal authority. The mayor says she will appeal. The York County District Attorney says no criminal charges will be filed in the death of a prison inmate in July 2023. During a news conference yesterday, Tim Barker detailed the series of events that led to the death of Haywood Dixon Jr. and a grand jury investigation. Dixon was reportedly feeling unwell and said he could not remove his shoes for a strip search at the prison. The DA says the proper de-escalation attempts were not used and Dixon was tased. Barker says Dixon told prison staff he could not breathe multiple times and he was moved to the mental health unit where he collapsed and later died. Barker says it's not known if he would have survived if he had gotten medical treatment sooner.
While the results in this investigation did not merit charges, it did merit critical recommendations for how we can better serve our inmate population in York County Prison, how medical providers can better serve that population, how we can have changes to the law.
The grand jury made 12 recommendations ranging from changing the culture in the prison to making sure the charge nurse on each shift is at least a registered nurse. It also recommended tasers never be used for compliance. The full list of recommendations is at our website, WGAL.com. New at noon, the Lancaster Police Station has reopened after being closed for 2 days when the carbon monoxide alarms went off. Police say the HVAC system has been serviced. Because of the closure, the deadline for trash recycling bills has been extended through Friday.
Congratulations and welcome.
Lancaster City Council gave a round of applause for newly appointed Police Chief Easton McDonald. He most recently served as assistant chief in Alexandria, Virginia. McDonald went over his plans to address concerns about U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement in Lancaster.
I plan on doing listening sessions and getting to hear from the community and their concerns. There are a lot of people within the population that are threatened and concerned about this, and I wish to hear from a public safety perspective on how the police can help with those situations.
McDonald has more than 28 years of experience in law enforcement. Also at last night's council meeting, 5 candidates were interviewed for Mayor Jamie Arroyo's open council seat. Council members say they hope to have a decision soon. The U.S. Navy shot down an Iranian drone that was approaching the USS Abraham Lincoln. The military says Iranian boats also tried to stop a U.S.-flagged ship. Now President Trump is trying to make a deal over Iran's nuclear program. News 8's Rachel Hersheimer reports from our Washington bureau.
A meeting will be held between the U.S. and Iran in Oman. That is according to multiple Iranian media outlets. The Middle Eastern country has hosted high-stakes talks before between Iran and the U.S. Now, this comes after the Trump administration continues to threaten military action against Iran to get the Islamic Republic to negotiate. Now, tensions began rising in late December when Iran spent weeks violently cracking down on nationwide protests. Activists say more than 6,200 people have been killed. More than 50,000 people have been arrested in connection with these protests. Now, protesters have been expressing opposition against Iran's economic instability and challenging the country's theocracy. Now, last month, President Trump promised to rescue Iranians from the brutality on the streets before pressuring the regime to make a deal over its nuclear program.
You need a willing partner to achieve diplomacy, and that's something that Special Envoy Witkoff is intent on exploring and discussing. As always, though, of course, the president has a range of options on the table with respect to Iran.
Now, Witkoff met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Tuesday, and Netanyahu has warned that Iran has repeatedly proven that it cannot be trusted to meet its commitments. In Washington, I'm Rachel Hersheimer.
President Trump is calling on Republicans to nationalize voting in future elections. The president says if a state can't run an election, the federal government should step in.
If we have areas, take a look at Detroit, take a look at Pennsylvania, take a look at Philadelphia. You go take a look at Atlanta, look at some of the places that horrible corruption on elections. And the federal government should not allow that. The federal government should get involved.
In an interview on former FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino's podcast, the president said 15 states could be the target of this federal voting takeover. The Constitution gives states, not the federal government, the power to run elections. President Trump released new renderings of the ballroom he wants to build onto the White House. The president released the pictures yesterday, saying the addition will be identical in height and scale to the historic look of the White House. President Trump and various private donors are funding the project, which is expected to cost $400 million. And tonight, NBC News' Tom Yamas will have an exclusive interview with President Trump at the White House. A portion of that interview will air on NBC Nightly News, which you can see here on WGAL at 6:30, following News 8 at 6.